How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. I'm going to be talking a little bit slower because I've got massive throat pain, so please bear with me. But we're going to be talking about rumors and leaks. Let's get started right away. We're going to be starting things off with this post right here from Soul Silver Art, who breaks down information from Riddler Coup. Now, I'm going to explain very quickly who these people are. Soul Silver is a leak analyst, and Riddler Coup is a legitimate Pokemon leaker. And yesterday, he did some weird stuff, and it said some inappropriate things, but now he's came back to give us information instead of all this weird other stuff. So, what is he back with? Well, he says to compensate for what he had done and the injury he caused, he's came back to give us some information. And here's what he actually put out, which was this tweet saying, her voice soul or soulless. And then it's a lady with some sort of head ornament. I think I could be wrong. Some sort of head ornament with very traditional clothing, I'm pretty sure. And overall, nothing really makes sense to me here. But then he kind of includes that Centro is turning dark, which made me think, okay, is it possible? Because he is referring to here, most likely, that is a gym leader we're talking about, which could be that a gym leader might be related to dark typing. That's at least my standing theory. But here's what Soul Silver says. Crew prefaced this, well, not sure if this is a gym leader because July's theme is simply characters. No matter what she will use, no matter what she will use Pokemon though, so either ghost or dark type. I think the latter because dark is the evil type. Ghosts are souls without bodies. Evil would be soulless. But, you know, the question was, her voice soul or soulless, right? So the question is, he says, I think there's more to this. This is a riddle after all. Why mention voice after the white hair steals souls? Apparently, Pokemon Scarlet here, Poke Scarlet, shout out to this person, by the way, mad job, might have nailed it maybe with Water Dark. Maybe there's another connection to something else as well. Maybe Nemona, since PV2, which is the preview 2, which is the second trailer, already showed us a character. Now, here's what this post says here, which is that Ursula debuted in the 1989 adaptation of The Little Mermaid, where she's voiced by Pat Carroll. So if you guys remember Ursula, she's a witch who basically is evil witch, evil sea witch, and the thing with her is she might have a beautiful voice, but she is inherently evil. So she has a soulful voice, but she's kind of soulless. She's evil, but at the end of the day, it's what it is. And you can see right here, he says, PV2 has already told you one, by the way, guys. Theme for the next month has been decided. Characters want to know what GL Teaser 1 is. And GL is, of course, gym leader in this case. So is it a gym leader? Don't really know. Continue on. And a lot of people speculate on what, might be going on here. So again, we'll have to wait and see what the deal is with this one. You guys' thoughts and opinions will be appreciated in the comment section down below. But let's move on to the bigger thing, which is this right here. So we might have the 100,000% guaranteed typing and also possibly even a bit of the design for Fuecoco guaranteed told to us now. So this is from Zaptrium, which shout out to Zaptrium, by the way, for this one, saying Fuecoco is 1,000% going to be Fire Ghost, as it's literally registered as Dead Crocodile. What are they talking about here? Well, this is the registration trademark, okay? The registration trademark for different Pokemon names, and it's been registered, okay? It's been literally registered for Dead Crocodile, which fits perfectly in. If you guys do not know this, I'm going to explain it very quickly. Fuecoco's name literally comes from fuego, which I think means fire, and then coco, Fuecoco. The coco pod is actually also like a kind of boogeyman in Spain. The coca, it's basically like a boogeyman within Spanish, or not just Spanish, sorry, I mean Iberian, so that includes Portuguese, Spanish, even within Mexico and a lot of the Latin-speaking countries. It is considered a sort of a boogeyman, okay? It's a sort of boogeyman that exists, and this boogeyman, is kind of usually described in a lot of different ways, but Fuecoco fits that perfectly, because it's also based a little bit of a ghost chili pepper, okay? Like a ghost pepper, right? That's also a little bit of the ghost reaper, I think is what it's called, that specific pepper. That's also what it's based on in design. So we know for a fact then that it's definitely, because it's called the Dead Crocodile. Usually dead things, in Pokemon are considered ghosts. They usually turn into ghosts. So it's definitely going to be Fire Ghost typing, which we already kind of knew, but now it's 100% guaranteed, which means, yes, Riddler Coup's been correct. His hints, his riddles have been correct, and it's going to be a ghost type. Okay, it's going to have a Fire Ghost typing. But on top of that being Fire Ghost typing, it also means that its design will most likely feature some sort of ghostly feature to it. Think about this, right? It's based on a boogeyman of sorts. So expect this design to be a little bit more extreme, I would say, than we initially might have anticipated. So it's going to be quite the handful of a design. Personally, I'm excited. A lot of people are talking about this. For example, Fons here says the Fue could play on the Fuego, and the Se Fue, which is kind of he, she, went out or is now gone, or something like that. And It is interesting because somebody says, but is it? I can't speak Japanese very well, but from what I can see, the 3 kanji used are just amazed, fire, and crocodile. Don't know if the dead comes up from the compound kanji word I don't know of, or if the English translation is an actual official trademark, which in this case, he literally translated it to dead crocodile from the actual thing, which, of course, you gotta remember, it is a little bit of iffy thing to translate this one over, like just through Google Translate. That's a bit iffy. But even Kishkemi here says, I honestly think the translator is going a little crazy here because that, like, I guess that letter there is a bit of an uncommon kanji. Both in Japanese and Chinese, the translation seems to be the same for the 3 of them. So I don't know, but this is apparently on the actual, like, trademark website. So if you are a Japanese speaker, you can please translate this for us. I mean, we already know it's going to be fire ghost typing because, again, Ridlaku has been 100% correct about all its information so far. So it's hardly, like, unlikely that he's going to give us false info on the typings. And he's already given us the info there's going to be fire ghost, which, by the way, if you do not know, we already know the typings of all the starters, okay? We know their final evolution typings. I can tell them to you right now, okay? If you're looking at Sprigatito, so the little grass cat, that's going to be a grass dark type. If you're looking at Fuecoco, it's fire ghost, and Quaxley is going to be water fighting. Why are they these typings? Because they are 1-to-1 matches, okay? They're literally 1-to-1 matches, like straight up 1-to-1 matches to the typings of the starter Pokemon in, guess what? Pokemon Legends Arceus. So if you look at it like this way, right? You've got Typhlosion, which is fire ghost. You've got Decidueye, which is grass dark. And then you've got finally, of course, Samurott, which is water fighting. The typings are perfectly, I think, lined up in this case, or I think I might be wrong a bit about the typings there, but I think for a fact that the typings perfectly match up. Actually, I think Decidueye and Decidueye in Legends might actually be like be switched with Samurott, but that's besides the point. Their typings don't match up. Like, the actual typings on those Pokemon, like, actually match up with the rest. So I'm going to really quickly check that just to double check it. It is a grass fighting type in this case. So just switcheroo those two a bit, because I think Samurott is the got the dark typing. So just switch those two and you get the perfect match. It's just basically going to be like that. We already know Sprigatito is going to be most likely dark based on the information we received. So sorry about that. It was grass fighting on that one and the other way around. But Sprigatito is going to be getting grass dark. So taking the dark typing from the Samurott one we saw in Legends, and then the other side with Quaxley is going to be taken from the other one. So basically, the typings are supposed to be like a weird mishmash mix between the two for whatever reason. I don't know why they're doing it exactly like that, but that's just kind of what they're doing with it, and everything is pointing in this direction. So you guys' thoughts and opinions will be appreciated on this. Let's move on to the next thing, which is, again, from Soul Silver art. Sorry, my throat really hurts. I'm trying to, like, not be super, crazy here, but let's go into this. So last point on the 3rd legendary. For now, below I spoke about how Nemona might be directly connected with it. My theory is about her arm. I think this 3rd legendary, possibly a deity-like legendary, marked her or caused something to happen to her arm, which hinders her from throwing Pokeballs. And this relates back to an original post where even Eclipse was saying, which you guys do not know who Eclipse is. He's also a sort of Riddler type of guy who's had correct info, but also incorrect info in the past. Right now, he's been very correct recently with his information, but he's been saying that Professor in Scarlet and Violet, they study refraction of light specifically, but not to know more about it. The gimmick, which is in this game, but they just discovered it, but this time they actually know more about it. So again, he already talked about this before, but here's what he has to say. Game Freak had one little blurb to describe her, and in that they mention her sunny disposition, her reliable experience, and her skills in battle. And then this random mystery, she's bad at throwing Pokeballs. Plus, she literally has a brace covering her arm, her right arm. I know at first I thought, is it possible it was the gimmick glove, but it's actually kind of big, and it makes sense that it helps her throw Pokeballs. Maybe it's keeping some kind of greater power at bay. Think Princess Mononoke and Breath of the Wild 2's, case, right? Maybe the 3rd legendary has cursed her to be an omen that will bring something bad, or the 3rd legendary itself. And what we're talking about when we talk about bad here, why is it a bad omen? What are you talking about? Because Nemona backwards literally means an omen, and Nemo I think means like no one, like nothing. Like I think her name literally means like nobody, nothing. So she's an omen of nothing, more or less, right? But I think like her name has a lot of interesting points to it. Like it even connects to like I even think her name connects to the Odyssey, like Odysseus or whatever. If you guys know that story, it's a weird connection between all of that. But also it continues. They will bring something bad, or the legendary itself, or the Scarlet Valley region, or even free the 3rd legendary if it's locked away. Maybe it wants to fully take over and use her. Maybe it's literally a throwaway line. I don't think she will be villainous, but I do think, he continues on, that this will all intentionally including her name meanings, she will probably have a personally very much based on Odysseus type of story. But this is just my silly theory around it. Either way, there is something mysterious about Nemona and her arm. Thanks for reading. So, you guys' thoughts and opinions would be appreciated on this. What do you guys think? Let us know. Let's move on to the next thing. This is coming to us again from Soul Silver. Says, I believe this is directly connecting to my theory, but remember this, always take this info with a grain of salt. So what are we talking about here? Well, basically, there's this weird case now where there's been a lot of hints towards possibly a new Diglett form, which could be happening. And in this case, he was here showing a tweet, an old tweet, where somebody says, TT in my name stands for Towers Trials. And somebody asked, so all the new gyms and challenges are on those towers we saw in the trailer. He says, technically no is the answer to this question, and that's all. So technically no, but that doesn't mean like much. So like the towers might have trials. We see the tower in the first trailer. Is it possible that that tower actually has something in it, but then on the bottom is where the gym is? So the tower contains something else, but the gym is outside. Like, is it possible that's what the deal is here? Is that what's going on? We don't really know. And somebody here says, maybe it's a mix between Gen 7 and regular gyms. So it'll be something like there's a trial and then you battle a gym leader. So, for example, you take on a trial Pokemon that allows you to then be able to go and take on the gym leader as a sort of way to kind of unlock it almost, which I think would be pretty cool if I may be honest and say so myself. And he even says here, the most important things here are Osmoslo's final reply, also the TT, hint and joke. I think this directly connects to Ku's new RF, which I believe means regional feature. I believe there will be both gyms, possibly in towers, and alpha boss Pokemon trials like nobles and totems, which I think, I'm going to be honest right here, guys, and say it, I think would be bloody fantastic, okay? I think that would be awesome. We already are, like, kind of bleeding content, I'm not going to lie, so it would be great. And this all comes from the fact that, you know, we also had, like, specifically Eclipse saying here, you know, also Diglett has 2 TT as well, which 2T, again, you know, tower trials, whatever he's referring to, is this case. So basically, if there is a Diglett form of sorts, right, if there is some kind of form of Diglett in any way or shape or whatever you want to call it, this Diglett form is going to literally have, like, you know, a connection and be a part of one of these trials, one of these towers you're going to be taking a look at or going inside of and battling. So interesting. I'm going to be honest, quite interesting of a case. What are you guys' thoughts and opinions on that? We move on to the next thing, which is from Soul Silver Art, who says, going hand in hand with my crazy long third legendary theory from last night is this amazing thread by Delete Zero. Shout out to Delete Zero, by the way, for this. Everything I said last night could apply to this, but instead of a bird and dragon, maybe it's a butterfly. Please check out this whole thread. It makes so much sense. And then he also continues down here. We're going to open up that thread. We're going to look at it in a second. First, we're going to see what he says down here, which is, with this Celtic mythology, the idea that it was once benevolent, a sun goddess, but then became malicious, moon goddess, or that it was once a sun goddess, maybe a dragon butterfly, reborn as a human, Nemona, juxtaposition to the original myth. So what is the original myth? Well, it says here, I thought I would go ahead and actually throw some theorizing of what the third legendary is based on, some stuff I've dug up. First thing I'd like to show in the is the shadow of a butterfly, which, yes, there is a kind of a butterfly shadow actually that shows up in the corner right there, that appears for a few seconds in the announcement of the trailer, as the security guard shines his torch at the wall. Afterwards, he shines his light up, searching for something above him, after which he opens the door, and we got our first shot at the room of curiosities, and right in the center is this cage. Initially, I called it a bird cage, but it possibly isn't. It's instead a cage for butterflies. Now, you see butterflies also have a very interesting relationship with light, which we've talked about this theory before, specifically their wings. The non-brown, black, yellow colors you can see on their wings is caused by light interacting in a special way, rather than pigments, which is how most other creatures have color. In fact, scientists studied the black wings of a rose butterfly to create a type of new solar cell that harvested light at a higher efficiency. So we can even relate this butterfly legend to mythology, which we know Game Freak like doing. This is where we can come to the sun goddess and that turn to the moon goddess. This leads us back to the post right here, which continues saying a butterfly and probably a dragon legendary would make so much sense as well, with all these connections to its wings and lights and colors. And he says here, all in all, I think there may be a dragon fairy or dragon bug, a third legendary with multicolored iridescent butterfly wings who can refract or diffract sunlight that's shown at it, allowing for the gimmick in some way. Lastly, here's my recent thread going in depth on the third legendary. It gives you all the backstory. So we already kind of read that one. We already know what it's all about. But I think this is a fantastic breakdown of everything. It's like so much information here that's just worthwhile taking a look at. So if you guys haven't taken a look at this, you can do that too. You can pause the video, of course, at any time. We move on to the next thing, which is going to be also from Soul Silver, which is kind of an interesting point, which is about the game's battle mechanics. Something that we really haven't talked much about, and I feel like we should, is how will this game function compared to Legends Arceus and Sword and Shield, right? So he says here, thoughts on the new battle mechanics and UI. I kind of hope they either make it more transparent or spice it up. It feels very bare bones. Seems like they kept some things from PLA, sneak encounter, which I love, back to a fixed rotating camera, though seamless encounters is all I need. So that's one of the things, right? It's one of the things we're worried about. I hope they keep the Legends Arceus thing where I can just technically throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and then just leave on my merry way. I don't think that's going to be here. I think we're going to have it to go into battles with every Pokemon we want to catch, which is fine. Totally understandable. Not super pissed off or anything about that. It's just sometimes it's fun to, creep up on some Pokemon, just be like, here's a Pokeball. I'm done with that. I caught it straight away. Can move on, and get some of those critical catches and, just like all that sort of stuff. Just, sometimes that can be really cool and fun and satisfying. However, I'm fine either way. However, the bigger thing for me is, can we move around during battle? I really hope that they're not again forcing us into a static camera, because that seems what the case is here. It seems like we are going to be on a fixed rotating camera, which I'm going to be honest, I kind of hate. I'm not a big fan of the fixed cameras in Pokemon. The whole fun part of PLA was that freedom, right? The freedom that even during your battle, you can run around and, like stand next to your Pokemon or stand next to like the enemy's Pokemon and just compare yourself to it. And just the cinematic feeling. I don't know about you guys, but didn't you just feel like more of a cinematic feeling from all of those games? Like, didn't you just feel that way more than anything else? Like, I think it was one of the coolest things about Legends Arceus was that cinematic feeling. That's personally what I think, but your thoughts and opinions will be appreciated. Which leads us to, again, the final point here, lads. What do you all think about all this? I want your thoughts and opinions, because it really is curious. And I do think Pocozo says something interesting here. Well, remember how the PLA teaser showed us a beta version of battle aesthetics? Let's hope Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, sorry, does the same and upgrade its battle characteristics before November. And if you look right here, this is what it originally looked like. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is originally what the battles looked like. If you look at the final version, it's really different, okay? This is way different, okay? Like, if you look here, there is no health bar above the Pokemon. Like, look at Gallade over there. There is no health bar above it. There's no such thing, okay? There's no such thing. Here, you can see there is one. There's one above Bidoof. It's right there, right? So, the idea that there won't be, like, movability during battles and all of that, or that we're going to be stuck in a fixed camera, I think we can throw that out of the window, and we can probably say that it is highly possible, okay? Highly possible that we are going to be maybe, could be wrong here, maybe going to be getting like that same Legends Arceus movable camera, movable movement and everything type of design instead, which I think would be sick. So in conclusion, guys, let's go through everything we've talked about. So of course, this one, I'm not sure about. This one I personally think is relating to a gym leader. If it's another character, we don't really know. He said that we already kind of got a hint for this one in the trailer. So maybe it is a gym leader for one of the areas we've been already shown. We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see whether that's going to be the case with that one. If you guys have any theories on this, you can always send it my way. The next point is, of course, about this stuff with Fuecoco, the translation. Again, this is just translated through Google Translate, so you cannot really 100% trust it. I would wait until somebody else kind of does a proper translation, then we'll know more. That's a bit better of an indication if it's real or not. Then we have, of course, the big theory about the third legendary, its connection to Nemona. I personally think that the Nemona and the third legendary are directly connected the same way that I personally think that Sada, the professor for Scarlet, and Turo, the professor for Violet, are also connected to the two respective legendaries of those two games, with Nemona being the only follow through in the middle of both those, right? Because you can only have Sada in one and Turo in one game, but then Nemona is in both, and I think she's going to be kind of like an important character because she was the only one to be shown alongside them. No other characters really shown off besides like player characters, but that's about it. We didn't really see much else than that. So I'm assuming she's going to have a bigger role than we think. I think she's going to be related to the third legendary personally. How that's going to connect, I don't really know, but we'll have to wait and see how that all turns out. Move on, of course, to the final thing, which is we'll be getting, like, these towers alongside, so gyms and towers with, like, trial Pokemon and, like, like rare totem nobles or alpha boss Pokemon, if you want to call them that instead. Like, we're going to be getting something like this possibly alongside gyms, which is, holy moly, dude. That's, like, essentially getting, like, if there's 8 gyms in this game, that's like getting, like, that always dreamed about, like, like 16 gyms. So it's like what people always wanted. It's like getting that, but it's, a little bit different, but still kind of getting that sort of feeling. Sure, it wouldn't be 100% unique maybe, but I still think it's cool. I just still think the ID and novelty of it is actually interesting. And then finishing things off, we of course have the theory about specifically the third legendary maybe being a butterfly sort of design. I don't really know about this one. There is enough information there. We know that, like, Game Freak likes taking inspiration from other mythologies and stories and stuff, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that's going to be the case here. I have no idea. You guys' thoughts will be appreciated though, but that's pretty much it for that part. And I think the final part, of course, we already talked about. I do wonder about the UI and how that's going to work and how this whole thing's going to be, functioning. So what do you guys all think about this? Let us know in the comment section down below. And yeah, ladies and gents, that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. My throat has been killing me. I can finally slow down and talk like this. Just want to get through this video as fast as possible and not, go on forever. But I'm going to be taking a rest now. I got a video to post for tomorrow that's already edited. Just needs to go out. But I will see you all later on, guys. Peace out and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.